Hi, this is Jose Delaportilla. Thanks for tuning in to Toolbox Tuesday. Today we're going to review the Amprobe AM-520 HVAC multimeter. As you take a look at it, I'm just going to name off some of its quick specifications. It is a Category 3 600 volt rated meter. It is designed specifically for the HVAC industry. We have electrical voltages up to 600 volts, currents up to 10 amps, ohms all the way up to 40 mega ohms, and it'll do flame sense, diode testing, continuity tests for fuses, light bulbs, wire connections, battery tests, motor startup run capacitors, frequency verification. I mean, this thing will do a little bit of everything. A non-contact voltage test. It actually has a built-in flashlight. So let's go ahead and take a look at opening it up and seeing what this looks like inside. First off, the casing is really strong and rugged, so the packaging that's coming in, you know it's most likely not going to get damaged. So we'll move the card out of its way and let's get our hands right on the meter. Again, nice sturdy rubberized feel to it. Here's your markings to indicate where your hand should be at any time you're making a measurement, so you know you're in safe ranges. It's got a rotary dial to go to any setting you want. Nice little feature, could come in pretty handy. Built-in flashlight right on the top of the meter. You've got connections here for if you're measuring amps. This would be in series since it's a tabletop style meter. Microamps, your common and your voltage, temperature, Fahrenheit, and capacitance testing. You've got your hold, you got your REL, your range, your min, your max button. On the back of it, to get to your batteries, simply got that screw to take out, but also it's got a kickstand, so that when you set it up, you got an area where you can stand it, you have hands-free measurements. That's always a nice feature because when you're working with electricity, safety is your #1 goal. By keeping your hands free of the electrical circuits, you got less chances of injuring or killing yourself. I just kind of wanted to show you guys this chart. I think it's neat that Amprobe does this. As you run through, here's our meter here, the AM-520, and all the specifications. For those of you new guys who are not sure what to use all these features for, right here, it tells you the functions. For example, electrical circuits on or off, non-voltage tests. Gives some in here about how to check a fuse, which setting to use. So it's really kind of a neat little educational piece for you guys just starting out who want to know all the functions to use on your meter. This is something cool to keep your hands on. If you don't keep the cardboard one with you, use your cell phone, take a picture of it, and go back to it to educate yourself. The meter comes with its own Amprobe carrying case. Pretty rugged canvas style case. We'll unzip it here, and let's see what comes inside. You got your standard K-type thermocouple. This will plug directly into the meter sockets itself. Now, if you want to use your existing pipe clamp, you will need the adapter from Amprobe that's sold separately to allow it to snap into the socket and then receive a standard K-type thermocouple. But this one, the K-type thermocouple is built right into the lead connectors. Okay. You've also got your 2 voltage leads. One for L1, one for L2, hot, common, hot, neutral, however you want to phrase it. And they do have protective caps, so if you're using something where the connections are really close together and you need to just make a small contact, leave these rubberized caps on. But if you really have to get into a connector, maybe like the back end of a spade connector that's insulated, simply pull them off and you've got the full extended probe to get there. But if you're worried about arcing out against something to make measurements, especially on communicating systems and a low voltage communication bus, use the covers. Perfect way to keep yourself safe. So we'll get that out of the way. Also, here's your manual. Covers every detail that you want to know. Nice big fold-out manual, multiple languages for you. Gives you how to use it, the functions, the specifications, and the ranges it's good for. Now this is what I really enjoy, is that you also get it digitally. So the benefit here is either you can throw this in a computer, download the PDF manual for your book and upload it to your phone or your tablet, or you could download it directly from Amprobe sites. There's links located on this disc that'll show it to you. Also link you to a lot of their training content that's available out there on who they are and what they do. So really cool. I like this personally. I would take the manual, put it on my cell phone so that if I needed to know something on my meter, I don't have to carry a million of these paper things in my truck. That's what I've got that cell phone on my hip for. Another thing that comes with the meter is the strap. That's pretty cool. Not every meter comes with it, but Amprobe gives you the ability to have a strap that you can slide right into your meter, so that if you do need to wrap it around something to hang it to make measurements, you got it built in. A lot of other manufacturers will make you buy like the HVAC strap or something to connect to it, but it's kind of a nice touch that they give it to you. It's a nice little ability to it. The only downside would be that you have to unvelcro it to wrap it around a pipe, but I mean, come on, for what you're gonna pay for this meter and all the functions it does, that's just a nice touch to have thrown into it. So let's take a look at how to use this meter and some of the functions that it has. The first thing we'll need to do, obviously, is power it up. To do so, simply grab the rotary dial, turn it to the voltage setting. So here you see we're measuring voltage. Now the straight line here means DC, the swervy line here means AC. So to change, right now we're at AC volts. To change it, simply hit the select button. We'll go to DC voltage. Now one of my favorite features is this option here. You see the symbol of a light over the hold button. If you hold the hold button down for 2 seconds, you get a nice blue indigo backlight. It's a nice soft backlight that allows you to see the display. It's not so bright like some other meters that it washes out the display, and it's not just a standard yellow light that makes it still kind of hard to see in dark places. So now I can see AC, DC voltages. I also have the ability on this meter to select the range. What essentially that's going to do is move the decimal point. If I know the range of voltage that I'm working on, I can set it up. But it is still an auto-ranging meter that'll fine-tune itself. And here I've got my ohms. Continuity indicated by the little buzzer symbol up above. And then I've got my diode tester. Capacitor testance here. No extra functions there. You see there's nothing else listed. Hertz here. So I'd measure my hertz. The frequency here. Separate setting for Celsius or Fahrenheit temperature. My non-contact voltage detector here, which simply allows me to use the tip here of the meter to touch up against a wire to listen for a buzz to see if it detects any voltage present. Again, it's not going to give you a measurement, none of them will, but it'll allow you to know if that circuit's hot or not. We've got microamps in both AC and DC. So we can use it for flame sensing, or if you're in a DC circuit, perhaps a DDC, direct digital control circuit, and you need to measure really fine measurements, small amounts, you can do that. It has then a milliamp setting, so if you're working with low voltage controls, and also AC or DC, and then a milliamp range, or I'm sorry, an amp range. So we can measure amperage. Now this thing is only going to measure up to so many amps of power, and it'll tell you right here, you can only do it on something up to 10 amps. If you've got something working with 10 amps or more power, I'm personally not the type of person who wants to measure it by putting my meter leads in series, which would mean I'd have to take the wire, connect one lead of this to the one wire, this to the other end of the wire or the terminal. 10 amps of power could really hurt you, so I prefer not to use that test. I prefer the clamp meter for that. So here you have your K-type thermocouple. Now remember, this one has the K-type thermocouple built right onto the accessory connector. So if you have an existing pipe clamp, you're going to want to make sure that you purchase the additional accessory that allows you to use your standard K-type pipe clamp to snap into this. If you notice here on the meter, you got your setting here for Celsius, Fahrenheit. This is where this is going to snap in. Simply going to plug in like so. Turn the meter to Fahrenheit. Let's get our back up on here. Then you get a display. All right. Now let's talk about our leads. Again, our leads have these protective covers on them, so they can come right off fairly easily. The other feature that's nice is on the back end of the leads where they would plug into the socket. They're shipped with these covers in them. This is pretty handy. Trust me, from years of experience. You take these out and you don't put them back in. Over time, these are going to soften. It's going to make it harder to make good contact with your meter. So you simply plug these into the circuit that you want to use.
If you want to learn how to use this product, click the link below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest tech tips and updates on the latest how-tos.